President Trump, guess what? There's no national debt. Wah, wah, wah. What do you mean that there's a national debt without a national credit? Oh, yeah, well, tell us how that works. You know, we're going to be the ones talking it up around the dinner table. We're the ones that are going to be observing how these things have worked to our children. We're going to spread the name of Avila from here to hell and back. We're going to remember those Spanish progenitors, the ancestors, who were overwhelmed with a need to put this to work in the world for good purposes, consumed with what they had experienced, what they had seen, what they'd gone through. Okay, these were men who were battle-hardened soldiers who had seen such horrible things that all they wanted to do was make it count for something good. So there's a reason why you have the Rodriguez Trust, why you have the Santiago Trust, why you have the Avila Trust. There's a reason why all these Spanish names keep popping up over and over and over again. It's because Spain was by far the wealthiest country on earth. And this is the story of how the Spanish conquistadores have tried to return the wealth to the world for the benefit of the people, for something positive. And what you have here is a story of how Britain and Rome collaborated with each other against this good intent, which both Britain and Rome were fully aware of, and instead were looking for power bases that they could use against the Spanish goodwill. They went and raided India of its gold so that they would have gold and would be able to fight the intent of the Avila Trust. They went on a warmongering spree using the gold of the Maharajas in a war for profit scheme that resulted in 2 world wars. That's what Britain and Rome did. When Rome could no longer control the Avila family trust, because the Avila family trust was sick and tired and waiting for the church to do something with all that wealth that was practical and not just invest it and reinvest it and invest it and reinvest it for the future that never came, right? They took it out of the hands of the church. And as soon as they took it out of the hands of the church and the British monarchs got together and looked around and said, oh, gee, well, we can't have that. Pretty soon our dominance will be, challenged, and all these people will be thriving and taking, new pathways, and we won't be able to dominate them anymore. So let's go over here. Let's pull this dirt on the British working class. Let's enfranchise them. Let's take title to all their land and assets and their bodies and their labor and everything that they are and own. Let's use this little legalistic bullshit crap and set it up so that our judges enforce it. And then we'll use the receipts from this horrible act against our own people to finance the Raj, another commercial mercenary attack wheedled through using bureaucrats, okay, in India. And we'll go through and we'll steal all the gold of the Maharajas. And they did. They went through India like poop through a goose, and they stole the wealth of the Maharajas, the most wealthy people on earth at that point, other than the Spanish conquistador families. And they used that to finance what? World War I. And after that, what? World War II. And here they are trying to gin up World War III. At what point do we all say, no, we see you. We know what you're doing. We know why you're doing it. We know why Russia has been set up as our enemy when in fact Russia has always been our friend. We know that it is not to the advantage of the Europeans to have America be friendly with Russia and China. If America was friendly with Russia and China, then Europe and all of its petty little monarchies would be alone in the world. And they couldn't continue to rob, pillage, plunder, and play all these ridiculous games with everybody else's lives and money. Here we are in America. What do we celebrate? The individual, the rights of the individual, their unalienable natural rights. Are we not closer in spirit and in political purpose to Russia and China, which celebrate the workers, than these little petty European empires?
You've written a couple of really great articles regarding the fact that the monarchy is a failed paradigm. And it is. It's absolutely failed. It fails over and over and over again.
We can choose God as our monarch. We can choose nature to guide us. We do not need a monarch to stand for as an idol representing either God or a father figure or whatever. We don't need that. These people are evil, they're liars, they're cheats, they're megalomaniacs, they're crazier than Fruit Loops. And we put up with it. We've honored them. We've put them above us, right? Wake up, world. Monarchy is our natural enemy. Monarchy of any kind is our natural enemy. We don't believe in it. And yet, by propaganda and sleight of hand, the British and the Roman pontiffs contrived to convince generations of Americans that the Russians and the Chinese are our enemies. No, folks, that's not the truth. The truth is that our government has had an alliance with Russia since 1858, meaning our government, our national government, has had an alliance with Russia since 1858. And the Russians have never violated that alliance. They have protected us against the Brits on more than one occasion. Monarchy and all that it presumes about the privileges of an elite class of people and social caste systems which lock people into positions for life, that's anathema to an American. Why are our presidents, presumably or supposedly our presidents, getting knighted? Why are our generals getting knighted? It's because they're not our generals. It's because they're using our resources and our people, and they are stealing from us. They are usurping against us in violation of their service contracts. And they're acting in gross breach of trust. And they've been doing it for a long time, getting away with it under the tenets of Scottish version of Roman civil law, maritime law, which says, let him who will be deceived be deceived. It's only when we say, wait a minute, this is deceit, this is fraud. It's only when we use those words and bring forward the facts that the law begins to grind away in our protection.